In this lesson, we are going to take a look at the short intro solo to That's What Love Will Make You Do by Jerry Garcia Band. So this comes from their studio version, which was recorded in the key of C sharp. It's a very basic blues, 1s, 4s, and 5s. Before we get started on the analysis, go check out the solo in the lesson materials. There should be a link to the digital tab player that will show you the whole solo. You can slow it down. You can isolate certain sections. It's a really helpful tool. So go check it out there and then come back to this for the analysis. Do you want to finally understand how your favorite jam band songs are being played, develop your own style with it, and sound good in the process? This is the place. I'm Quinn, and this is the Tuff Club Premium Plan. Inside, you'll get access to full video lessons breaking down iconic jam band songs fit for all skill levels through 2 separate courses. Some of these lessons might include guitar solos, technique walkthroughs, and bite-sized mini lessons. Plus, you also get fresh tablature every week. Jerry Garcia, Trey, Derek Trucks, Goose, you name it, I'm making the tabs and posting them every Saturday. You'll get instant access to everything for just $25 a month, and you can start out with a 7-day free trial. Let's make the music that you love make sense. I'll see you on the inside. Here's the first line. So you'll notice here that those first 2 notes that he's playing, that's just a C sharp. So as of right now, we're in C sharp major, but that'll change here. If you want to look at this in a different spot because that's pretty high, it's just like doing this. Now, if you know these minor chord shapes, you'll know that that's a C sharp minor. So he's playing this minor phrase that centers around this root note, which is also a C sharp, right? And so he's kind of mixing major and minor here. You're going to see that a lot more moving forward. Here's the next line. Right, so still kind of staying around that C sharp minor shape. Again, easier to see it here. Right, so pretty basic, just kind of staying in that minor pentatonic. Not much more to say about that. Here's the next line. So this is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. He's playing in C sharp minor. Right, here's a C sharp. That will be the minor pentatonic scale. And one thing that you really want to keep in mind here, and I'm not always so good about this, but I really, really do strongly recommend prioritizing this, is positioning. So in this case, you're playing notes across 4 frets. That should mean that 1 finger should get each fret. But in reality, it's a lot easier to play with these 3 fingers than it is with your pinky. So you can use your ring finger where your pinky should be playing, but you've got to make sure that you get back to position. So I'll play it like this. Like that. And so when I get to that note with my pointer finger, all my fingers are in position. So my pinky then can play this easily, and I'm in position to be able to get to those notes without moving too much or using my hand in an awkward position. Here's the next line. He's kind of just closing out this phrase still in this C sharp minor pentatonic, but now it's changed to the F sharp chord. He's landing on this note, which is a part of that F sharp 7. Easier to see it there. It's this 5th of F sharp, if you want to look at it like that. But yeah, he's still kind of just really focusing on the C sharp minor pentatonic, hitting 1 chord tone. But it's important to note that now the 4 chord, the F sharp, has come in. Here's the next line. So this one's really cool. You might notice that we're back into major again after this. He's just walking up that C-shaped scale. So if I were to do it here, it'd be like that. He's sliding in from the minor third to the major third. So again, combining minor and major here. Then doing it again at the end. And then this last little bit will make a lot more sense when I get into the next line. But I want you to focus on this part. That's a really, really cool line that you can use over any blues, but over any major or minor or, like dominant 7 groove. Here's the next line. So now we've officially moved into that basic C sharp minor shape. He actually does play this major third again when he's hammering on from the 9th to the 10th fret. But for the most part, it's all kind of just in this minor pentatonic. He's doing some cool bends, right? This 9th fret coming up by a quarter of a tone. I think that's a pretty cool bend, so maybe try that out in your playing. It's a cool way to make it a little bit more bluesy. You kind of get that major third in there, but you're still kind of just sticking in that minor pentatonic. Here's the next line. So it's very, very related to this one lick. He's just playing around in that same area. That's a really cool thing that you can use. Right, so he plays that and then just ascends as he did the first time. Here's a second to last line. Now again, he's mixing minor and major. He's playing this sort of like minor pull off. There's a minor third, there's the 2, there's the 1. And then he's moving back into this C sharp major shape. Here's the next line. And that's the way he ends it. That very last note is the major third in C sharp. So he's kind of returning to that major. And the rest of it is just kind of a walk down that C-shaped pentatonic scale in C sharp.